why is it important to vote locally?
Look at what happened in Flint, Michigan with the water.
Yeah.
Those are elected officials making decisions about how to maintain pipes. You look at Greensboro now, number 8 in the country, Matt, most dangerous cities. Making
Did you say country?
The country. Not
the state.
We're number 1 in North Carolina, but we're 8. We're 8 in the country. It's insane. It's insane.
Man, I didn't know that.
We had 2019 record number of homicides, 2020 record number of homicides.
We weren't always there, like number 8 in the country or number 1 in North Carolina. How can we do something about that?
Crime is a lagging indicator, right? So you don't have the jobs, you don't have the affordable housing today. The crime becomes manifest later. It's really important that we tackle the actual root causes of crime, like the jobs, affordable housing.
You are now tuned into The Experience, the Highest Point Podcast.
More than a pod, it's a lifestyle. Find out what's happening right now. Came from the bottom, still reaching the highest point. No, we won't pipe down. We are the truth. We are the cool. We are the culture. The Highest Point Lifestyle.
Yo, welcome to the Highest Point Podcast. This is a podcast for everyone, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've been through. You know you deserve the best and willing to put in the work for progress to reach the highest point. We have a very special guest in the building today, Mr. Justin Outling, currently a Greensboro City Council person, also running for the mayor of Greensboro, North Carolina. What's happening, Justin? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Matt? Thank you for the invite. I'm excited to participate.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad you're here. I've been looking really forward to having this interview and getting some insight from you. And before we even get directly started, I think it's very important for the audience to get to know people that's running for positions, get a little background on them, things like that. So can you talk to the people, let them know a little bit like where you're from, where you went to school, what you majored in?
Yeah. So obviously running for mayor of Greensboro City Council person, one of the craziest things you will hear from a politician is for them to tell you they're not from here. So I got to say it, though. I'm not from here. So I tell folks, like, if I had any part in the decision about where I was born, I would have picked Greensboro. But my parents made that decision, and I was born in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
So they moved down to Charlotte when I was in high school. And then I came to Greensboro for the first time to attend school at UNCG. I met my wife, Cora, there. And from there, we went to school up in the RTP Durham area where I attended Duke Law School. Came back to Greensboro for a year to work for a judge, then moved to New York for a little while. And then we had our first of 2 children and realized, we definitely got to get back to Greensboro. And so we've been blessed to be back in Greensboro since about 2012.
Oh, wow. That's what's up, man. And you met your wife at UNCG as well?
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Eternally grateful to G. So I don't know where I'd be without my wife, Cora. So
absolutely.
we got special love for UNCG. Go Spartans.
Absolutely.
Now when they Aggies to hop on and start throwing
I'm an
shade,
Aggie. I'm an Aggie.
I figured this much. I figured this much. So
I would let you talk a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But, I got to throw that out there.
It's all love. My mother's an Aggie, so I get it by blood.
Absolutely.
Get it by blood.
Absolutely. And I understand you're currently an attorney. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm an attorney. Went to law school at Duke and practiced law at a really large international law firm in New York. Been practicing back in North Carolina since 2012 at a law firm called Brooks Pierce.
Oh, awesome. Well, you get props for being at Duke because I'm a Duke fan. So
That's what's up. I like that.
I'm a big Duke fan.
We can't agree on G versus Aggies, but we can agree on those.
We
Blue
can
Devils,
definitely agree on that for sure. We on the same team there. My sister did some time at Duke as well.
That's what's up.
So what is your role as an attorney? What do you do in that role?
Yeah, so I'm what's called a business litigator. So I generally represent companies and professionals in all different types of lawsuits. So say you got a contract with someone, they didn't do what they're supposed to do, they didn't pay you, you'd hire someone like me to represent you and make sure that you actually get paid.
Right.
And so I do a lot of business litigation, also a lot of things representing people in different disputes they may have with the government or the like. So Yes, I love doing it. Love being an attorney. Love being a counsel person. I just love advocating and fighting for people and good things, good causes.
Absolutely. That's what's up, man. So, talking about, we got that, educational background, that journey, through your life journey, can you tell us what are your top 2 greatest achievements personally and also professionally?
Yeah. So that's interesting. Oftentimes people think of achievements. They think of like an award or winning a big case. For me, my biggest achievement in life is, as a young child, really understanding the significance of choice, like in internalizing the fact that like you can't control your life circumstances all the time, but you can control the choices that you made. And it's a lesson I learned from my father. Like I said, we grew up in Buffalo. My father had a good working class job at a factory. He worked really hard, but he got a decent pay.
Right.
And like in Greensboro, his manufacturing job disappeared, went overseas. He couldn't find, similar work. And, I'm a little kid. So, my dad hung the moon. He the strongest man in the world.
Yep.
He's like Albert Einstein. And I saw my father make a choice to be a garbage man so he could help, put food on the table, roof over the head and clothes on the back. And I remember, so this is like 20 years ago, right? So garbage collection wasn't automated like it is now. Where you got the arm stretches out from the machine, from the trash truck.
In there.
Yeah, so my dad was one of the men on the back of those trucks, hopping on and off. 6'4", 250. He dropped like 20 pounds the first month he was working.
Wow.
Coming home, his feet would be swollen around. Your back hunch from lifting up those heavy trash cans. But I saw my father made a choice to help provide for his family, and that was just so profound for me. It's like he got a bad deal.
Right.
Life threw him a bad deal, but he made a choice to get up and fight and do what he can. And so for me, the greatest accomplishment, really is just internalizing the fact that like you have control and it makes a big difference in your life and those around you, even in ways you don't know.
Right.
So,
right.
That's definitely number one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's big, man. That's so big. The choice.
Yeah.
Because we can't choose our circumstances.
Yeah.
But, we can choose the decisions we make. Because, a lot of us seen things, and it can impact you. But, are you going to use that to motivate you to understand the message from God?
Yeah.
Or are you going to, allow it to make you morph into that, either the environment that you're in, or, start making those negative decisions, which not going to, help you at all.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's like boxing, man. I mean, you're going to choose to stay down or you're going to get off the mat and fight.
Yeah.
You can stay down, but end of the day, if that's your choice,
right,
you're going to be down.
Yeah,
you're going to be down. So you got to get up and fight. And that's certainly what my father did with his experience. I've tried to do that in my life, teach our kids the same. It's just, it's the ethos.
Absolutely, man. Hey, more of the story, you guys, get up and fight no matter what life throws at you. You know what I'm saying? Get up and fight for real, for real. You heard it right here with Justin. That's very, also, let's talk about professionally. What do you think, that was your personal one. What about professionally?
Yeah, professionally, I would say just attending law school. I didn't have any lawyers or anybody like that in my family. And I remember growing up, I had well-intentioned people who would be like, you want to be a lawyer? Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe you should get a teaching certificate. I think well-intentioned, but a reflection of the fact that sometimes people couldn't see beyond, for me or for other people like me. So professionally, it's just, working hard, grinding.
Yeah.
Then being blessed and getting an opportunity to be a lawyer and, help feed my family that way. So professionally, it's making that dream come true and becoming a lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes when we tell people our dreams, it's not theirs. They don't see it, and they don't really believe in it because they didn't see it. So we got to believe in ourselves. I've seen it so much, man. Telling people I'm gonna step out and do this. I'm like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
that's
I'm sure. I'm not sure I should have told you now. But yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So we want to talk about now, why is it important to vote locally? A lot of us feel like our vote don't count or it really don't even matter. So what would you say to those people?
And there's not an aspect of your life that's not touched by an elected official,
wow,
a politician.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about, going back to my father, trash collection. right? That's a local decision. You know, if we don't get it right, your trash doesn't get picked up.
Right.
You know, you look at what happened in Flint, Michigan with the water.
Yeah.
Those are elected officials making decisions about how to maintain pipes.
Right.
Right. You look at Greensboro now, you know, number 8 in the country, Matt, most dangerous cities. Number 8.
Man.
Like those are local elected officials making decisions.
Did you say country?
The country. Not
the state.
We're number 1 in North Carolina. But we're 8. We're 8 in the country. It's insane. It's insane.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, we had 2019 record number of homicides, 2020 record number of homicides. So those are the things that as a community we give elected officials the authority to make decisions about to help solve. Right. And so, you know, it's everything. Right. It's everything. So it's really important that you pay attention, you get involved, you vote, because it can be good or bad, but it hinges on who's in office and who you're voting for or not.
Right, absolutely. So what do you, with knowing that, because we weren't always there, like number 8 in the country or number 1 in North Carolina, what do you think may be the gap in, I don't know, policies or what? What do you think that may be? Or how can we do something about that?
Yeah, the gap is the actual root causes of crime. Yeah. You know, so, you know, crime is a lagging indicator, right? So you don't have the jobs, you don't have the affordable housing today. The crime becomes manifest later. Oh, yeah. And so Greensboro, you know, we've been falling behind peer cities, Raleigh, Charlotte, even Durham on jobs. And whereas you see cities that Durham 10 years ago, Durham was the murder capital of North Carolina. Right. Durham got the jobs. Durham got some other things. Now Durham's crime as compared to Greensboro is pretty favorable. We're the complete opposite. So, you know, it's really important that we tackle the actual root causes of crime, like the jobs, affordable housing, access to healthy food and health care. Right. Because if not, you're going to continue to see that lagging indicator of really off the charts crime.
Oh, man. And then with this pandemic thing going on, I know there was a hold on the housing thing, but now that's up, I believe. So I foresee evictions, you know, happening, things like that. So what you were just saying, that's going to be a result to crime as well. Like, 'cause these people are going to be hungry.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Hungry, homeless. And so, you know, where the power is, like, you have to be looking to leaders to actually lead and be proactive on things. Right. Because the thing is, you want to be finding options for affordable housing for folks before they get evicted.
Got to get ahead of that.
You know, so it's, you know, we can do it. We just have to do it. Right.
Absolutely. So, okay, I'm glad you said that. So how can the citizens get more involved to understanding, you know, like that background of candidates to understand, okay, what they've done good and also what they have done maybe to be a detriment to the city?
Yeah. A couple of ways. I say, so the old school way, you can pick up the phone, contact elected officials, talk to them. And especially at the local level. I mean, you know, I'm at the food line, right?
Right.
You know, that's easy. You can always contact them. But I'll say the easiest way, Matt, man, get on social media. I mean, look up your elected officials' names, hop on their social media pages, see what they're saying, seeing what they're talking about, see if they actually talking about things that they've done to make the community better, or whether or not they're just talking about they went to like the 5th banquet of the week and ate some chicken with some gravy on it. Yeah. And just really hold them accountable. You know, say like, what have you done with your time on this topic that I know needs to get solved? Right. So you say like, Justin, what have you done specifically to help reduce the crime rate? Right. Or to help make sure that people have jobs? Right. And, you know, it's really as simple as that. Wow. Really as simple as that.
Yeah. What's so funny when you said, now that's so obvious, but no one would think to pick up and call, you know, an official. No one would think that.
I tell you, so I was the same way. So before I was elected, I was like, nobody ever, like, why would I call an elected official if I have a trash issue? But I tell you, man, it's crazy. There are many people in our community that do that. Wow. And, you know, it's the loudest voices at the time. So if, like, you come to me with a problem, like, I want to solve your problem. Right. You know, so you can use me to help you or not. Right. But it's guaranteed I can't help you if you don't let me know that you're in need of some help. So, you know, pick up the phone. the answer isn't going to be yes all the time.
Right.
But if you don't shoot your shot and make the ask,
absolutely,
it's going to be no every time.
Closed mouth can't get fed.
That's it. That's
what I mean?
That's it.
And like you said, like, you guys are really out here. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't realize it until after the fact. Yeah, you're definitely out here. I seen you and didn't realize it this morning.
Oh, stop.
Now, this is so crazy, bro. I sat directly beside you this morning.
Stop.
In the barbershop. We share the same barber. I got in the chair talking to him, like we usually do.
Yeah.
And then he like, oh, that was just Justin Outling. He gonna be the Greensboro mayor. I said, what? I said, the man I was just sitting beside.
That's what's up.
I like, yo, I'm interviewing him today.
Yeah, so we really are out here.
Yeah, you really are out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, so they really out here. This man of his word, because literally, I just saw him this morning. Didn't even realize. We sat beside each other. Didn't even know.
It's crazy. Yeah. And, and it's also working hard to share with people a vision for a better community, better Greensboro. So, we're out going door to door, talking to folks.
Right.
We're out, at barbershops talking with small business
That means you in the community. So you hearing the voices of the people by doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, because a lot of times you get officials in there, they are, they separate themselves. From the people. So how the hell you gonna know what we need if you're not even talking to us, knowing what's going on?
Don't even want to listen.
You just want to do pop-ups.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when it's that time for election. But there's proof in the pudding that you are already out here.
Yeah. And then another thing that I do, I encourage everybody to hop on. I've been doing this for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Java with Justin. Just an opportunity for people to just drop in, ask a question. If you don't want to talk, you can just sit there and listen as others talk. And even during COVID, we've been doing it on Facebook Live. So you can just hop on Facebook Live, watch the live feed and discussion, type in a comment, a question.
Right.
It's answer it all. You need help, need somebody to look out. Just pop it in there, and we'll see what we can do to get you answers and get you help, and talk about how we can reverse course.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how can people find your social media and things like this to join those lives and things like that?
Yeah. So check me out on Facebook, of course, J Outling or Justin Outling. Just search it. I'm on there. Same on Instagram, Vote Outling, Twitter, J Outling. So also got a website, voteoutling.com, and email address info@voteoutling.com. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Okay, awesome. Definitely got to check him out. We're gonna have all his information right in the comments, and also I'll pop it up on the screen. Even talking about some of that stuff like that, do you feel like there are, or have you ever witnessed any biases in the judicial system?
Man, now you know that answer is yes. Now. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's really eye-opening at all different types of levels. So I work for a judge, and I never forget. This is early. I'm like what they call a baby lawyer, so like brand new out of law school, and we're in court listening to an officer testify about him stopping a Hispanic man and then searching and subsequently arresting the Spanish man. And so they got to give a basis for actually searching the vehicle. They have to state, what's your basis for actually searching? And this man said, yes, well, when I stopped him and started talking to him, he lost color from his face. And I'm like, what? Give me the answer, Slit. Tell me how he lost. So to me, it's like, that's a script. Right. That's like he had a script in his mind. I'm just going to say this. This is what I say. And so it's definitely there. And I'll tell you, even as an attorney, I remember I was working on a case in South Carolina, doing a case for a bank. And so it's me and all white attorneys. And so we go back to what's called the judge's chambers, like outside of the courtroom, we're talking with the judge about stuff. Everybody leaving the judge's chamber, goes, shakes the judge's hand. He gets to me, the only black man. He want to give me a fist bump. So it's, some of the things are large and small, but it exists. And it's just really a matter of people working hard to really eliminate the caste system and racism and white supremacy in these environments, and just getting in the room and doing what we can.
Right. Yeah. And it's important for people like in your position. I mean, because someone to know these type of things, can happen, to have experienced those, because, if you haven't experienced those, and you can't really speak to it, You know, you just heard about it. And I know a lot of people that really just don't believe these type of things exist. And it's so obvious that it do.
Yeah, and you know, and the crazy thing is, like, a lot of the stuff you assume is against the law because it's wrongful, and that's just not the way it works. So I even think about, like, police stops.
Right.
So, you know, you're driving your car, right? You weave out of your lane a little bit. So technically you violated the law and you can be stopped.
Right.
That means an officer can stop you, period. Even if the officer wouldn't have stopped you but for the fact that you were black.
Right.
Like, that's wrong.
Right.
But it's still allowed by the law. And so I spent a lot of my time on city council understanding the law, understanding the way systems work, and doing things to change it to make it right and make it fair.
Right.
Including in that instance, you know, creating a policy that kind of prohibits that practice, that race-based decision-making that is legal, but is still wrong and it shouldn't be allowed. But you got to understand the system to actually change it at times. And so, you know, work hard trying to make it better.
Absolutely. I think that's so important, man. So appreciate you providing some insight on that. So can you talk about some of the challenges you faced as being a city council person and, you know, how you overcame it or either managed it?
Yeah, you know, one challenge is politics is crazy. I mean, it's really crazy. I mean, I'm someone, I really want to get involved and get to the substance of things to make things better and have real work, real conversations. And oftentimes in politics, it's all about, like, the soundbite, the really big speech, and not actually doing the detailed work to move things forward. And so understanding that is always a challenge, in understanding and recognizing that not everybody moves the way that you move and is motivated the way that you're motivated. Right. And so, you know, part of being on the city council working with other people is you got to understand what motivates them. Right. And so while, you know, I might talk about data analysis being the details, somebody else might be their primary frame of reference is like, how is this going to make me look? You know, and that's not the way I move. Right. But it's not about you. I want to get this done. So I got to recognize that I got to talk to your language to you. So I got to say, it's good on the substance. It's how it's going to move us forward. Right. But let me talk to you about how it's not going to make you look bad. Right. And it's one of those things about politics where that's just the reality of it. And to get it done, you just got to recognize the reality, but it's a real challenge. I wanted to say, like, man, look at the data. Right, right. Like, look at the logic. Right. Look at the logic. Yeah. But, you know, it's a part of being on a team and knowing how to move and get things done.
Oh, man, you're so right there. So, you know, because if there's an ultimate goal, in order to get that goal, you have to go through certain avenues and you got to put on different hats to be able to get to that goal. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing. And that's so true. And because, you know, this is me outside of work, but I work for a corporate, you know, health industry. But when I'm in there, you know, I got a whole different hat on. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I have to, you know, cater what I'm saying differently, you know, to certain people. That's right. To get the job done. And that's so true. So it's a lot of similarities within politics, but obviously you guys on a higher level because you got the.
I know those office politics, that corporate politics.
Yeah, exactly. You're attorney for corporate, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I done had some. I don't even want to talk because I've been in leadership in you know, in the corporate offices and things like that, and it's interesting, man. It's so interesting.
And some of those same dynamics. Same dynamics.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say too much because I ain't out of there yet, but boy, you just wait till I get out of there. I'm letting the cat out the bag.
The expose is coming. Is coming.
So there's a segment in my show called Love, Loyalty, Respect. So before we get in, we're gonna transition into the mayor things after this, but I want to have a little fun first.
All right.
All right, so with the segment, Love, Loyalty, Respect, you have to choose one that's the most important in this scenario. Okay, right?
Okay.
So, love, loyalty, or respect, what's most important with your significant other?
Ooh. Yeah, I would say...
watching.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you know she's going to listen to this. Definitely love. Love. Yeah, I mean... Cora and I, we met when we were teenagers, man. So I know that, like, whatever the issue is, we're ride or die.
Right.
And that's based off the love. You know, there's, at some point she may not respect what I'm doing, but I know we're a team, and that love keeps it together and keeps it moving. So it's definitely the love.
Absolutely. I get that. All right. So let's go to the next one. Love, loyalty, or respect.
And you know I'm thinking of, like, as you say this, I keep on thinking money, power, respect. I'm thinking like, the locks are like refraining.
Yeah. That's kind of where it's coming from a little bit. But love, loyalty, respect with your political team. Which is the most important?
Man, again, man, it's love. You know.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were going to go there.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, we're out there going door to door talking with people. We're out there, you know, having events at barbershops, other places. All those people are doing that work because they believe in the vision for a better Greensboro.
Right.
They're not getting paid a dime. So that's less love. That's love for a city.
Right.
That's love for a city, and so it's definitely love. I mean, I can't rob a bank to have enough money to pay people to do the stuff that they're doing, getting out there in the cold and rain,
right,
knocking on doors, and so it's definitely love. And all the volunteers that are on our team and working together, you know, I got love for them, and I appreciate the love they show.
Wow. So it sounds like you actually have a passion for what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know,
great folks.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I like that. I didn't expect it, but now it makes sense when you break it down like that. And that is important, having people that's all about love. They love their community. So
yeah.
So the next one, let's talk about love, loyalty, or respect. I already know what you're gonna say with this one. For your children.
Oh man, see, if I was old school, I'd have to say respect. Now.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's love too for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But you know, also respect. You know, part of it is like, you know, we're not raising children, we're raising adults. So our job is to, you know,
I like that.
Get them ready for the world that can be cold and mean at times. And so part of it is, you know, they have to understand that I'm coming to you out of love to teach you.
Right.
But you also have to respect and listen so that we can get you ready for where you need to be.
Absolutely. Because this world ain't going to love you like I do.
Sure not.
When you get out there, this world will kick you know what. You know what I mean?
And because I love you, I have to demand respect, and we have to get you ready, and you got to get these lessons in and get them learned. So,
yeah.
You know, so it's love, but it's also a whole lot of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, okay. That was a segment of love, loyalty, respect. And you see that Justin led with love all the way through, people. And then you made some great points about it. So I totally get it. So let's transition to the mayor role. Can you help us understand, okay, what does the mayor do? What can we come to the mayor about? You know, what actually does the mayor do for the city?
Yeah, I mean, the mayor, use a bad analogy, mayor's like a quarterback of the football team. Right? Like, a good quarterback isn't going to guarantee that you're going to win. But if you got a bad quarterback, it's virtually a guarantee you're going to take an L.
Right.
And so the mayor really leads the team, organizes the team, calls the plays, and in politics does what's called sets the agenda. So really determines the things that you work on, the things that you talk about, or the things that you don't work on.
Right.
So like I mentioned, 2020, record number of homicides in the city, off the charts. Second consecutive year. We had 2, work sessions, which are council-focused discussions on violent crime. One at the beginning of the year, before the crime happened. The second at the end of the year, after it already occurred.
Right.
So you're not working at it. You're not going to have progress. You need to have the quarterback that's at least in the game, calling the right plays, even if it can't throw the touchdown. And so that's largely the role of mayor. Also, the mayor is viewed as being the leader of the entire community, right? So the mayor has what's called a bully pulpit. So if we want to focus on crime, mayor talks about crime, a plan, and casts a vision so that people can follow and work towards it. If the mayor's not talking about anything, you're not using that pulpit to help create change. And so the biggest things are the ability to set the agenda, focus on what gets worked on or not, and then also have them, that classic bully pulpit to focus attention and get things moving.
Right, absolutely. All right, now talking about that, What do you think are the top 3 main qualities a mayor need to have to be effective?
Yeah, to be effective, the mayor has to have a vision. I mean, what's the saying? Without a vision, the people shall perish.
Right.
So you got to have a vision and a sense of what you accomplish and what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at other cities. Durham was a murder capital in North Carolina, but they had a vision, like a vision that we're going to work on innovation and making sure that people have jobs of the future and people can get paid.
Right.
And so number 1, the mayor has to have a vision. Number 2, the mayor has to have focus and discipline. So that means not taking all your resources and spreading them a mile wide and an inch deep to where you don't get any impact.
Right.
You got to be able to say, we're going to focus on jobs. We're going to focus on crime. There are other good things out there.
Right.
Your neighbor's nonprofit that wants $50,000 just because they want $50,000. They may be doing good work.
Right.
But we got to make sure that we're doing right on crime and jobs first. So, second is actually having the focus. The last is you got to have a servant's heart, and you got to actually want to serve people and love people and make the community better.
Absolutely.
So you got to be out there. You got to be talking with people. You got to be transparent, and you got to actually deeply feel what they're feeling and want to make it better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I heard you reference crime and jobs, multiple times, and I think that's major because without the jobs, it's going to be the crime. You know what I mean? And if and the only way to bring the crime rate down is we have more opportunities. They work hand in hand. And, I think that's a very, very good initiative to have, and continue to be, throughout your journey, because that's so important, man. And we don't want anything to be left out, because Greensboro need to be turned around. We done seen so many, like this incident with Young Dolph in Memphis.
Yeah, crazy.
It's crazy. He was well known, but this stuff is happening to regular people every day.
Yes, every day. And that's the thing. It's like you got to have both of them. Like,
right.
Prosperity is a prerequisite. It has to be there to have public safety.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, you're not going to have a community that's safe for everybody. And so, you got to focus on both getting people jobs, and that's a part of the way you keep crime down. It's one of the things I think Greensboro should be doing.
Right.
Like you look at other cities, making sure that kids, especially those who live in areas where there's a disproportionate amount of crime, and they're more likely to either be victims of crime or be involved in crime itself. Like during the summer that they're off the streets, man.
Yeah.
And we can do it through having a youth jobs program and a guarantee for those kids so they're off the street.
Right.
They're building their job skills. They're getting experiences comparable to more privileged kids who live elsewhere.
Right.
They're helping to have income in their homes to sustain the homes when they hit those teenage years and they can eat everybody and the roof out of the house. And so there's lots of different things that we can do, but you got to have the vision, you got to have the focus,
absolutely,
and you got to be willing to do it.
Yeah. And even with because I know you worked a lot with corporate jobs. Now, in order to get, jobs, we need to have some companies come to Greensboro. Yeah. Is the crime rate a deterrent from those companies from coming?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's one of the things when I talk with businesses, including those who are here, saying like, you're important. What do we have to do to make sure that you stay here, that you grow here? They're talking about crime and public safety. They're talking about schools. And so it's definitely a deterrent for bringing more jobs here. I'm confident that we're going to get more jobs, right? But it's what jobs are you getting? And it's not just that you get jobs. Right. It's, are you where you should be? Right. And when I look at Greensboro, man, great infrastructure. I mean, you can drive from one end of the city to the next in 25 minutes. We got some of the best colleges and universities in the state. A couple of our alma maters, A&T, UNCG, and others. High quality of life, low cost of living, especially if you got a decent job. We should be the envy of all our peers. Right. I mean, there should be people in Raleigh, Charlotte, and Durham talking about, I want to be in Greensboro instead of vice versa. But, we got to pull it together, and we got to have that vision and discipline to make it right.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more, man. That's so true. So, no, what made you interested in this role of, being mayor? Why are you running?
Yeah, because we need change. We need change. And, being on the city council, I'm especially close to seeing the need to have that really effective leadership in the mayor's position.
Right.
Because I know, in my role, I've worked on a lot of important things, public safety with regard to jobs, but it's the mayor's position that really determines what gets worked on by the council.
Right.
What really gets worked on by the city. And it's the mayor's position that has that unique platform and pulpit to make sure that the important issues are not only being addressed, that people are really coming together to address them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally get that. What do you think the main challenge you foresee, when you become mayor? What are those challenges?
Yeah, the challenge I foresee that's going to be a main one, although I think that we can work through it, is there's a certain amount of apathy that I think exists in the community. So if you're not engaging people for 10 years, like they don't even look to be engaged.
Absolutely. It became a norm.
It's a norm. And it's like,
Yeah.
If you aren't talking with businesses about how they can grow and what you can do to support them, they disengage.
Right.
And so I think, part of the challenge, but again, certainly one we're going to overcome, is getting people re-engaged and understanding that, like, together we have the power to make this right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now when does voting come around? When are those dates?
Yeah. So primary election is March 8th. The primary is kind of the first election that determines essentially who are the finalists.
Okay.
After that. And then depending on whether or not there are what's called runoffs in some congressional races, the general election, so that's the final election where the mayor will be selected, will either be at the end of April or the middle of May, May 17th. So for now, everyone should be marking their calendars, putting it in their phones, March 8th primary.
Absolutely. Everybody mark your calendars, circle them. Also, do the groundwork, do your research right now. You got time right now to, follow Justin, seeing what he's doing, seeing what he's talking about, to understand why he deserves your vote.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, we're all here. We want to earn the votes, man.
Right.
I mean, so I encourage people, check us out on social media, send me an email, send me a message. Check out our videos on Facebook, Instagram, hear what I'm talking about, learn more about the vision and how we're going to get things done. Because I don't just want your vote. I want to earn your vote.
Absolutely. Enough said right there, man. That's it. Justin Outling. You got all this information. We're going to include his, his website, his social media links and everything. Be sure to follow the movement. We got up until March, top of April. So, until next time, you guys be sure you hold it down. Don't let it hold you. Peace.
The Highest Point Podcast.